Well, hello. It's morning, but it's 1:11 a.m. and I'm doing the video for the 19th of January on I guess today is the 18th of January. I just got home an hour ago, a little over an hour ago, from hearing my son play, and I had forgotten to put the ambassador's conversation with me, the YouTube video from earlier today, up on Facebook till I got home, which is a little bit strange. I don't usually forget, but I did. In any case, I'm not going to wait till morning or till after I get up, I should say, to record this video. I'm going to go ahead and record it now since I had already written the blurb before I left. And the title is, When Did God Lose Control? As I said in the video I made a couple days ago, in which I talked about the rabbi's perspective on Satan being limited by God, I was triggered to rethink and ponder my perspective on why the world is the way it is. I'm not sure I've reached a final conclusion, or even if there is any such thing. I received this comment in a private email after the lady had also listened to the rabbi. She wrote, "Still, if God has always been in control and knew we would not grow unless we had an opposer, it still begs the question of why so sadistic? Why allow rape, murder, and other heinous crimes against not only humanity, but all of creation, just to teach a lesson that we already knew before coming here? Obviously, in the Old Testament, the Torah, God controlled the adversary, Satan, by placing limits upon what could or could not be done. My question is this: when did God lose control?" The rabbi informed us that the Bible, or the Torah, plainly teaches that Lucifer is an angel, or what we call the devil is an angel, and that angel does not have free will, but operates with limitations. God allows the tempter to tempt, but life is protected. Not property, but life was protected in the story of Job. God did not place those limits, apparently, on human beings. Human beings, we are told, were given free will. Of course, the people that have free will are the malevolent beings. They have free will. They can do whatever they want, including breaking the free will of others who would rather not be slaves, who would rather not be victims, who would rather not be the injured party in life. And yet, as we look at the world, as I look at the world, all I see are victims and injured parties and free will being violated and harm being done and loss occurring. I watched a video just prior to this, like about 15 minutes before I started recording. It was last week, Tonight with John Oliver, Civil Forfeiture, in which our government, we're talking the United States now, has passed laws that allow police to be even petty thieves. Not petty, because they can steal cars, houses. If you're caught with any kind of money, it's assumed to be an illicit thing, even if you have proof that of what the money is used for, like you're going to buy a vehicle or you're going to start a business. And these were cases that were actually shown in the video of John Oliver. Now, I had never seen John Oliver before. Apparently he's like one of these late night TV hosts. But it was interesting what he had to say. And I'm going to be doing some things on how the police in America, forget the rest of the world right now, America, which is supposed to be the land of the free and the home of the brave, which is really the land of the tortured and the home of the slave, because we have criminals literally running our government. I'm going to be doing a report on how the police have become an organized crime syndicate, and police departments no longer serve the public. They serve themselves and corporate interests, and you might say they have sold their soul to the devil. A devil that is not in control of God or any benevolent force that I can see. And that's a real problem. That's a real problem with the universe. It's a real problem with planet Earth. You know, God wanted us to grow up, to develop our muscles, spiritually speaking, of course. And I guess we had to have stress to do that. But as this lady wrote, why so sadistic? Why the torture? Why allow people to profit from war? Why is there so much violence and hatred and just sheer insanity? Look at the world. Then you've got spiritual people that don't look at the world. The world to them is, it's part of their belief. It's just an illusion, Ron. Don't sweat it, Ron. God has everything under control. Does he? Does she? Is there a God at all? You know, it breaks my heart. I got home and I got an email from a friend who has been having very, very serious health issues. And she wrote to me, please help. I know you pray for me, but an hour or so ago, pain so bad I cannot breathe, and that's with morphine. Thank you so much. And I watched this John Oliver show, and I watch police stealing from people. And they're not even able to recover it. There's no recourse because our courts have been taken over by criminals. It's a criminal syndicate running it all for their own benefit and for the corporate interests. As I said, I'm going to be doing a video about this in the near future. But right now I'm just thinking in terms of my Creator, of our Creator, the Great Spirit, the prime source, the God that we're told is a God of love. Is there a God? When I look at all this, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to see the suffering, to see the injustice, to see gross insanity everywhere I look. And I don't do what a lot of you do. When I say you, I'm not talking now to my religious friends, to my spiritual buddies that have been trained to see no evil. In fact, some of them have been trained that there is no such thing as evil. It's just an illusion. And I think, what planet do you live on? And why do you choose to put your head up your ass or bury it in the sand? and not pay attention? Where's your heart? Where's your heart? And I ask if there's a God, and I believe there is. But God doesn't control anything. At least not yet. And when I look at the Matrix, I don't think there's any way humans are ever going to get out of it. Not ever. Without divine intervention. Without God putting limits and saying no more. Now some say God will not allow nuclear weapons. But there's evidence on the planet that nuclear weapons were used thousands of years ago already. We're just now getting back to that place where we have that capability again. We lost it through the destruction of a previous Earth. And some say this is the fourth or even the fifth Earth. That we've actually destroyed this planet and virtually wiped out most life upon it a number of times, 3 or 4 times at least in the past. Why? Why would a creator allow this insanity to repeat? I mean, how many times do we have to learn? Or is there no God at all? If there is no God, if it's just up to us, I don't have very much hope, quite honestly. Because humans, to me, are too stupid. We are too stupid to even pay attention. We are too stupid to even learn. Yet, have we been dumbed down? Well, we're certainly not very smart spiritually, because there are spiritual, natural laws that if they were enforced, we would have a much better world. If governments were not allowed to be co-opted by criminals, we might have a chance. If religions were not taught to hate and not taught to believe that they are the only ones that are right and there's only one way, if religions weren't taught that, if religions were taught to love and respect and honor one another, and to see everything as God's creation and everyone as God's child, if we were taught that and we lived that, we'd have a lot better chance, wouldn't we? But of course, I mean, what can I say? That's a sane way of seeing things. We've embraced insanity. All we have to look at is our own government in the United States and the way governments act around the world. The ambassador says that the family is waking up, that there are wise people in the Council of Elders. I sure as hell hope so. Because if it depends on the God that I've seen working in Western religions, or more precisely, the God that I don't see doing a damn thing in Western religions, not a thing at all, allowing everything, anything goes. Anything goes. It's a free will zone, unless you want free will to do good. Then it's not a free will zone. Then there's going to be bad people. They're going to tell you, you can't do that because that might help people. You can't put free energy out there because then people would be able to get off the grid. They wouldn't need to buy gas anymore. They'd have other alternative means of moving from one place to another and powering vehicles if we still need vehicles. But there's just so much insanity, folks. And I came home from a beautiful concert. Crowd really appreciating the band. Just so many nice things. And I sit and I ponder here, looking at emails and looking at that video, looking at my friend who's having trouble breathing. When is it going to end? When are we going to wake up? When is God going to either shit or get off the pot? Haven't we had enough yet? Haven't we had enough? God, it's time, if you're there, to hear the cry of people suffering and to stop the tyrants. Frankly, if you can't answer that prayer, none of the other prayers matter. Because if you can't bring justice and peace to earth, I don't want to be here. And quite frankly, I don't want to be anywhere, if that's even possible. Because I want a world. I want to live in a world where there's joy and happiness. And there can never be joy and happiness where there's so much corruption and where criminals control the system. Do something, okay? Or help us to do something. Thank you for listening.